Happy Friday, Warriors. September is upon us already. The kids are going back to school. New routines are sparking. Hopefully, you're using this to enhance the routines of your life to close this year out strong. I want to start by talking about the Mountain Mover Manual. Several people have asked, is there an Audible coming out? Are you going to do an audiobook? We are working on it. I'm working on it with Stuart, so you can have that 1720 podcast vibe. I'll be reading the chapters. He's going to be reading the reflections at the end, and we're almost there. So September should be the release. I don't have a date yet, but it should be coming soon. A lot of feedback this week on the daily motivations, the first of which was from Danny's podcast, where he used big seasons, big moments of life, whether they were positive or negative, to catapult him into the next season of life. And for him, it seemed automatic to do that. But for many of us, we don't take those opportunities to use those seasons to grow from them. Usually we have to learn them again and again in hindsight, unfortunately. So if there's a season you're going through, what is it teaching you and how can you learn from it, whether it's good or bad? Is there something you need to continue doing? Is there something you need to stop doing? Is there something you need to start doing? Ask yourself those reflective questions. The next one was about what the caterpillar calls the end of the world, the master calls the butterfly. And we see these seasons of life where I can think of the deep valleys where I thought life was over, I thought my career was over, and little did I know that that was just the beginning of a new season. But it's really hard to see in those moments. And that's why it's so important to have tribes in our life that can kind of have a crystal ball and say, I've been there or I've seen somebody that's there. Keep going through it. Here's what you need to do, and you will get better. You know, in those seasons, I wish I could go back to my former self and say, this too shall pass. Not really change anything because it shapes who I am today. But some of those seasons, it's hard to see without people speaking life into your life. And then the last one was about great leaders find a way to connect with their people. And that's a huge one on situational leadership. If everybody has to conform to what you say, it's going to be hard to get to know those people and unlock their gifts and potential. And unlocking other people's potential is one of the greatest gifts to leadership. And you're going to have a hard time doing that if you don't understand the people you're leading. So take those times to ask about the family, ask about how they're doing. If they're acting a little different, see if you can help and try to unlock some potential in them when they share and are vulnerable for what they're going through or what they're up against. Maybe you can relate, maybe you could speak life into it, kind of like those earlier points. Finish strong, mountain movers, and cheers to a successful September.